everything.
Okay, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show with special guest Nick Paro. I'm Lawrence Winterman.
I'm Dana Dubois. Good
Who's that
morning,
guy in the
all.
middle?
I'm Nick Paro.
Oh
Hey,
my
what's up,
gosh, a
all?
special guest.
Is it this way or is it this way? How does it
For
show
me,
on the
it's this
screen?
way.
For me, right now, you look like you're this way, Nick. But either which way, it's so good to see both of you. I am now, Lawrence, I'm out of practice seeing you on a Tuesday. What a thrill. And what a great excuse for us to get together and talk when Nick Barrow reaches out and says, I have something really important to talk about. We're like, yeah, we'll come out of our summer vacation hibernation on a Tuesday to talk to you, Nick. Always.
I really appreciate you both.
Yeah.
Just have to say this from the get-go. Thank you so much
Of
for
course.
having me on. I love both of you, and I really appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Well,
Well,
we're always glad to have you on. You're like one of the original friends of the show, and this is a topic that's too important to not talk about in a timely
yeah,
fashion. So, yeah, it was just super easy to be like, yeah, we're just gonna reclaim 10 a.m. on Tuesday and have Nick on the show.
here we are. And I also, I do want to add a quick shout out. We'll probably say it again at the end that we have two more shows this week because we're doing our Fucked Up Friday like we're planning to do all summer, but we do have two extra times we're going live today, Tuesday, and then on Thursday, Lawrence and I are going live, just the two of us, because we both have news stories live that are kind of explorations of our Jewish identity, and we want to have a conversation about our like reluctant Judaism and what it means to claim that in 2026. And we thought, oh, well, why don't we go on our own show and talk about it? So we're going to do that on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have Iona Madrone joining us. And I know you were just live with her yesterday for the full moon, Lawrence,
It was so
with Great
fun.
Galaxy, and it was great. So really excited to see her shift gears and talk about the news. I'm sure we'll get a bit woo as well, as I like to call it. But an exciting week here on the Daily Whatever Show, kind of unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly exciting on the Daily Whatever Show. Yes.
Ah,
Um, so we should be aware. We obviously have this very important topic to talk about with Nick. It is entirely possible that the Supreme Court will release its decision on birthright citizenship, trans athletes, and I forget what the other. I think campaign finance reform or lack thereof in the next hour while we are talking. So keep your eyes peeled, people, and let us know if you see decisions because we definitely want to feature that if it happens.
And
100%.
those also fit into with what's going on with what I wanted to bring up for you guys too. Like these people want to regress every right that we have, and it's coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and while we're all doing shout outs of things that are going on, I have a story going live on Blue Amp later this week about women and how the United States hates us too. And I think
Wait,
is that on, not
Do we
you
hate women?
personally, but
Right.
the
No,
royal
that was in
we.
jest. That was in such
I
jest.
know.
Yeah,
The
we hate.
editorial we. And is that going live Wednesday or Thursday, Lawrence? I can't remember. It's one of those 2 days. And then I will be going live on Blue Amp with Ellie Leonard on Friday at 10 a.m. my time, 1 p.m. Pacific time to talk about that too.
Yep.
So much talking about how the United States hates all of us. It's kind of the uniting theme of the United States.
United we stand against our own government.
Right.
Yes.
Well, maybe that's a good segue then, Nick, to
Yes.
have you introduce and summarize the issue that you or somebody like the name Crip has been originated for this.
Yes.
So tell folks what it is.
Yeah. So again, thank you both for having me on. I really appreciate being able to join you guys today. And I want to give a huge shout out to Naida Green and the Disability Community for Democracy, who are incredible advocates for disability rights and freedoms, which also mean they are incredible advocates for non-disability rights and freedoms, because disability rights are rights for everybody. Accessibility is for everybody. Equity is for everybody. And so she's fighting for all of us. And also, happy early, tomorrow starts Disability Pride Month. Happy early Disability Pride Month to everybody. And for Disability Pride Month, you're going to see me a lot out here talking about disability rights and freedoms. And so, Naida.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
I just
go
want to
ahead.
jump in and say I didn't know that was that I was not aware that July was Disability Pride Month. So thank you. That's so important.
And I wasn't really aware either. You know who's been teaching me a lot of all of this stuff, even accidentally, is Naida Green. She's in the chat with
I
us.
saw she was in the chat. Hi, Naida.
If you're not subscribed to Naida yet, please follow and subscribe to her. Subscribe to Disability Community for Democracy, which is just at Disability Community here on Substack. Very easy to find. And they're doing some incredible work in advocacy and promoting disability rights. And so last weekend, not this recent one where I was in DC, but a week before, on the 18th of July, right before Juneteenth, the night before, Thursday, late at night, right before Juneteenth, the Department of Justice, under the apparent direction of Stephen Miller, which is Bloomberg reported that Stephen Miller was behind this, the Department of Justice issued a memo titled Application of the Rehabilitation Act and Americans with Disabilities Act to State Institutionalization of Patients with Severe Mental Illness or Disabilities. And this DOJ memo specifically is designed to undermine and delegitimize the 1999 Olmstead decision from the Supreme Court, which was a decision for two women out of Georgia who sued or were forced institutionalized even after their provider gave them the go-ahead and the clearance that they were good to go home, that they were good to be seen in the community. And it took almost 3 years of them fighting to get unforced institutionalized and to have their freedom returned to them and their ability to make decisions about their health and their body with their caretaker and their care provider and have it mean something. And this also helped end in school segregation and discrimination for disabled children. This is why we don't any longer have single specific schools where we just lump all the disabled kids into.
Right.
It's why kids with disabilities have access to so many resources in school for special education, for in-classroom care and care assistance. This is going to impact way, way more than just forced institutionalization. But what happened was they released this memo. It is not law what they did, but it is a DOJ memo saying going forward, any cases they handle, they're going to believe that the Olmstead decision doesn't say what it says, which was that states were not allowed to, the law hasn't changed yet. The DOJ memo is about the lack of enforcement by the federal government to stop states from force institutionalizing people. So there's a case coming out of Texas, or Texas is leading a case on this, is to rediscriminate against and segregate against disabled kids and disabled people in general. What this would do is it would eliminate your ability to have your in-home care or those in your family to have in-home care. And if somebody were to say that you just needed to be institutionalized, well, you don't really have a recourse anymore. You don't have any way out of it. And so on the surface level, which is a really important surface level, but on the surface level is they're coming directly for people with disabilities. This wraps in with previous executive orders on criminalizing homelessness, turning substance abuse into a mental disability, and criminalizing it so that we can be disappeared and erased and shut away from society, because we don't produce the same for capitalistic gains as fully able able-bodied people or non-disabled people. We often buck the trends, and we are more outspoken. We're more willing to stand up for ourselves and our own rights, or speak up for ourselves and our own rights. And so we're problems. And so it's an easy solution to get rid of us. It is what the Nazis did. It's older than that, but for a lot of people, they understand what the Nazis did. This is a Nazi playbook, because step one is to criminalize and force institutionalize disabilities. Step two is to turn dissent into a disability.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we're out here advocating to codify Olmstead into law. And that's what we're trying to do, is advocate to codify Olmstead into the existing Americans with Disabilities Act and make it better, make it stronger. And we don't have to wait for a new Congress to do that. But if this Congress is going to be unwilling to do it, we're going to start advocating and working towards getting congressional candidates to sign on and say they will do this, and we will hold them accountable if they don't.
Yeah, it's so terrifying to recognize, like, you can just see the playbook that they are going to use this as a way to eliminate people that they find undesirable. And then anyone who speaks up or, steps out of line or does anything is going to be classified with a disability or mental illness and disappeared into institutions like this. It's absolutely terrifying.
Or a
Directly out of the
terrorist,
Nazi playbook.
Yeah, or
Right.
if we can't be
Right, or
neatly
terrorists,
classified
sure.
as disabled, we will be neatly classified as terrorists for countering
Yep.
Yes.
these views on it. Nick, as a quick aside, you do a lot of work in this space.
Yes.
About being outspoken. Are you willing to share a bit of your own personal story? Because you are doing this you are coming in as a member of this community, and I think that's important to talk about the work that you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for those who might not know, and I know a lot of you in the audience know me because I come into the shows when you guys are going. I love Dana and Lawrence. You're two of my favorite people. And I've met so many people through the two of you. Thank you. One, for being awesome. Is it going to do it? Come on.
I'm on my phone, so
there we
it's not
go.
going to do it. There it is.
Yes, got the
I love that trick. I love that trick.
Mac users.
Us fancy people with our built-in emojis. But yeah, so again, thank you for having me. And I've met so many amazing people through the two of you. Trump derangement syndrome is going to be, they're working to classify that as a disability so that you can be.
Whoa.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Just like they made Antifa an actual group when it's just a belief to be anti-fascist.
Yeah.
They're going to make
that is going to be the label for dissent for you to be considered a danger to society and severely disabled. Is if you suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, you're going to get locked up.
Oh my God. It's so dystopian.
It's out there. It's so simple to follow these steps too. Once you see what they're doing on it, like once you're following it really closely, it's boom, boom, boom. We're already there. Like, it's scary.
I'm Googling that.
Can I ask a question? Kind of going back to you featured that they dropped the decision the day before Juneteenth.
Yes.
And that automatically, like the, I don't know, investigator, curious, mystery person in me instantly is like, how are those connected? Why, like, it seems like,
yes.
They're fucking buffoons, right? But also they use a lot of symbolism. And so what do you think they were trying to say by dropping that decision the day before Juneteenth?
So one of the things that I have come to really, really learn over the last couple months, but really with speaking with Naida around this, is the interconnectedness between disability rights and the attacks on minority communities specifically, and how they're used together, but also how our own communities forget about some of us. And those in the disability community tend to be left out of the discussions and this crosses all races, all gender, all everywhere. every segment, we tend to leave disability out of the conversation. And it's very much focused towards able-bodied work and people who are able-bodied. And this distinction, this is intrinsically tied to racism. The idea of pulling away these rights, because these were fought for primarily by minority communities too, it is the interwoven, because you can't have this conversation without talking about race, and how it is going to more predominantly impact Black and Latino communities than it is white communities.
Right.
And so it's really connected together. It's a way to eat at different sets of rights for the non-abled community, I guess. I don't know how whatever their language is that they want to use for themselves, but for those of us who are the others, it's intrinsically tied to it. It's also, and so that's the big piece, was they did it in a way. Disability rights movement was a white middle class movement. Thank you, Naida, for making sure I have my my history correct on here. And so everybody was sort of left out. And this is a way to continue. It's a way towards enslavement again in various different ways. But it's all wrapped in that same history and hatred of the other, and leaving as many behind as they can.
So Jim and Pat for Inclusion just put this definition here. Drapetomania, a mental health condition assigned to enslaved people who attempted to escape treatment, was beating. Look, I'm 56. I'm a white guy. I know that I'm coming from a place of immense privilege, despite being gay and Jewish and all of that stuff. It is so fucking infuriating to continue to learn the levels of depravity through which people of color have suffered in this country. And God damn, I'm
Never heard it. Yeah.
Right, like how could I be today years old learning this term, that this was a thing that was actually done, you know?
I say that every day right now. Like,
Right.
how was I not taught any of this?
None of this.
You guys, I did a quick Google search, and I think Karen Marie Sheldon, thank you for moderating. Karen, you're awesome. I think we both found it at the same time that I wanted to just quickly read on air. I also want to ask humbly if you all wouldn't mind clicking the heart button. That does help more people discover this live. Before we get too far into it, I want to, people need to hear about all of this. So let's do everything we can from a Substack perspective to get the word out. But listen to this press release, and this is coming from, this is Representative Warren Davidson. So it's coming from davidson.house.gov. So legit source, May of 2025. This is over a year ago, that he introduced the Trump Derangement Syndrome Research Act of 2025. This bill would direct the NIH to study the psychological and social roots of what is known as Trump Derangement Syndrome, a phenomenon marked by extreme negative reactions to President Donald J. Trump. And he's got a co-sponsor in Representative Barry Moore. Both are Republicans from Ohio and Alabama, respectively. Here's the quote. TDS has divided families, the country, and led to national violence, including 2 assassination attempts on Trump. The TDS Research Act would require the NIH to study this toxic state of mind so we can understand the root cause and identify solutions. Instead of funding ludicrous studies such as giving methamphetamine to cats or teaching monkeys to gamble for their drinking water, the NIH should use that funding to research issues that are relevant to the real world.
And so that goes back to that term of people who were slaves were considered mentally disabled or had a disability if they tried to run away, because apparently being against your enslavement was a disability, which is like I said, they're going to use Trump Derangement Syndrome as that new disabling effect to disappear people.
For sure.
That is the end goal, because we do like to talk about this was a Nazi thing. The Nazis use this in their playbook, but the Nazi playbook came from the American slave playbook.
Absolutely.
And we have been exporting fascism and hate since our inception as a nation. And so, Lawrence, we were talking, I'll get to answer your question here too, Dana, is my history on this and me specifically. But like Lawrence and I were talking right before the show about, oh shit, I lost my point. I shouldn't have digressed on myself.
Are you in menopause too, Nick? Because this seems so familiar. This is so familiar.
I am still recovering from flying to and from DC this past weekend.
Oh my God, it was like you had the best time. The photo of you and Karen Atia just,
oh my gosh, she's so awesome. She's cooler in person than she is on screen too.
Oh my God. Can I tell you all a secret that's not going to be a secret anymore?
Tell us.
I already told Nick.
She's coming back to the Daily Whatever show July 24th. The day before my birthday. It is my birthday gift.
Dana's birthday, and the day that I'm going to be in DC doing something that will prevent me from being on the Daily Whatever show. I am so bummed I'm missing it.
But maybe you can go find her and have coffee with her or something.
And no, I was not.
I'm coming to DC. We should hang out.
And I was not replaced by an ogre bot after meeting Ogre in person. I did get to meet Ogre, which was super cool.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I got to get to the East Coast. I want to go to New York City, and I got to go to DC.
And Melissa's out there.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Melissa.
People.
Next time I go, Melissa, you and I are going to set up some time because I have to meet you.
Oh my gosh, is Melissa in the chat?
I think so. I think I saw her come in earlier.
Oh my gosh, hi Melissa. I haven't talked to you.
Melissa's the reason I met Dana and Lawrence too. Like if you aren't following Melissa, go follow Melissa Corrigan.
Melissa Corrigan, amazing.
That's why I found Dana and Lawrence, and since then I haven't stopped. Like again, this whole community is amazing at connecting and networking people together, even accidentally.
Yes, we will infect you with our Trump derangements. And
I know. I'm reading. I know. I glanced down, and I don't want to read this whole press statement, but the next quote from Representative Moore, Republican, Alabama, Trump derangement syndrome has become an epidemic on the left. Like, I'm a word nerd, and how deeply I believe that language matters.
Words mean things.
Fuck. Breaking news, you guys.
Epidemic, and it's not good. I can tell by I don't know what my first clue was. Maybe it was your use of fuck.
Supreme Court allows states to ban transgender athletes.
Of course they did.
Of course they do.
Of course they did.
And this ties in directly. The fight for transgender rights ties directly into the fight for disability rights, because
absolutely
this regime is going to, if they have not, they already have tried, but they're going to try and make it official, is that being transgender is also a mental disorder.
Of course.
And
I mean,
they're going to use it as a way to take your kids away.
Being queer and trans was a mental disorder previously. It was only in the 70s that it got taken out of the DSV, DMV, whatever it is.
The DSM.
The DSM.
Yeah. Some of the letters were right. Like, seriously, fuck these people, fuck this shit. This is all connected. If you don't understand that as a queer person, a person of color, a disabled person, a woman, we are all connected together. Like, how many Reverend Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Coalition, the only way we are going to win is for all of us to come back together. Whatever your specific thing is, we are all fighting for the same thing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and what I was going to say.
Mic drop.
Shit, did I just forget it again? No. What I was going to say earlier, the biggest lesson I got from meeting Karen and Tad, so I met Karen Atia and Tad Stormer this weekend while I was out in DC. One of the biggest lessons I learned from them was that we need to get over these roadblocks of resistance and what it means to actually resist, so that we can actively deconstruct our mythos of America and our mythos of our past and reconstruct it into something that is good.
Yeah.
We're doing both at the same time. We are all deconstructing the myth of America right now. And it's okay. It is okay to deconstruct America. It needs to be deconstructed. The myth
Really
of America needs to be gone. We need to rewrite our own mythos to the truth, to accept that we have genocided the native population of the United States, to expand through manifest destiny and American exceptionalism, which is all a lie. We continue to be an apartheid state with reservations built into our nation, who we don't recognize the treaties that we signed with them.
Right.
We have to deconstruct these narratives, and we have to deconstruct our idea of what resistance is and build it into what it actually should be, which is what the Flare movement does, which is for resistance and liberation everywhere. Is we need to get past two stumbling blocks that block us. Is really this, we're at those stumbling blocks too for a successful resistance, and we need to just keep going past them. Is we need to accept that what is going on is morally wrong and ethically wrong, and that lawful doesn't mean right. We have to accept that. We have to accept that being lawful doesn't always mean the right thing.
Well,
It was,
absolutely.
it was illegal
Nazi
to arm.
Germany, right? Nazi Germany had laws that legalized all of the shit that they were doing, and just because that shit was legal didn't make it right or good or just. Like,
yes, the Underground Railroad was an illegal organization.
Yes.
Underground Railroad was an illegal organization, but it was morally and ethically the right thing to do. We're getting to the point
1000%.
where those types of things need to become standard. Whether we talk about them in public or not is different, but they need to be things that we're willing to accept. The next is that we also need to understand is there what violence is being done and what violence we're willing to live with, accept, or push back against.
Yep. Nick, I think I remembered what you forgot. You were going to share your personal story.
Yes. And now we get into, so those were two big lessons of all of this. And this is where the resistance comes in, is I'm retelling my story and writing my story in real time so that I can be a part of it. And especially with Disability Pride Month coming up here starting tomorrow, is I am a disabled veteran. I'm Nick Paro. I'm a disabled veteran, and I am permanently and totally disabled. And so I cannot work in the workforce the same way I could 2 years ago. I cannot be as productive as I was 2 years ago. I cannot do a 40-hour work week successfully and be able to continue doing it, plus have a family, plus be a good person and be responsible in my life and do any of the things productive. I can't. And I know that. And I've had to accept those limitations. I am also a user of the VA, and this is important for me. I get all of my medical care, both mental health and physical health, and eye health and vision and dental. I can also get too. I get my vision, which is why I got glasses. And thankfully they gave me glasses that actually work. So now I don't have migraines quite as often because they fixed my prescription on this eye that was off. And so I don't have this eye pain anymore. Anyway, digressing. I get all of my care through the VA, my mental health care specifically. And I am an outspoken veteran. I speak out against the current administration regime. I speak out against Democrats. I speak out against Republicans. I speak out against everyone who is worth speaking out against. And I am a dissenter. I would have Trump derangement syndrome, I guess. I don't, because one, I don't know what that is in reality. Like, I hate fascists, and that's about it. And I hate that he's a misogynist and an adjudicated rapist and sexual abuser and alleged child pedophile and child abuser and raper and all of the things.
All the
Like,
things.
all the things. And so I speak out heavily on it. I speak out against Stephen Miller. I speak out against Pete Hegseth. And as a veteran using the VA, there's already a stigma in the veteran community about what we call grippy sock vacations, is when you self-check in to an institution, to the VA, and you take the time you need to care for yourself, to have your mental health evaluated and cared for. And then at the end of it, you can leave.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Grippy Sock because that's
Grippy
funny.
sock vacation? Yeah.
Yes.
It's our way
that is-
to soften it for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as
Nick,
you're
I
not
wanna say-
stigmatizing it for yourself and you're just being, if it's gallows humor, then I'm all about it. But if it's actually people using it like, oh, well, he's on a grippy sock vacation to
No,
diminish
no.
mental health, then it's very bad.
Yeah, no, it's for us, it helps make it easier for folks to in their own minds to go use it, because one of the thing for veterans, good or bad, many veterans are gun owners. One of the things that happens when you check yourself into an institution is you lose your Second Amendment right. Your guns will be gone. You will no longer have them. And for a lot of veterans, that's a real fear, is that they lose access to their weapons. That's a fake fear. They need to get over that, because your mental health is more important than your guns or anything like that.
Right.
However, there's a fear, there's also stigmatism around veterans in general about mental health and considering it weak or soft or whatever, because we're bullied into it while we're in the service to think that it's wrong to seek mental health care. But once you're out, I suffer from PTSD. I have a TBI. Yes, Lawrence.
More breaking news.
Oh, great.
Ogre says in the chat, I'm trying to find it, that birthright citizenship is safe.
Oh, thank God. That's a surprise, but that's a good one. They also had a really bad argument for that case. Like, if they had
Supreme
passed
Court
that,
upholds broad conception of birthright citizenship. Fuck yes. I would not have believed those people would get it right, but it looks like they got it right.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah. Okay. So we've won one, we've lost one. There's one more coming, right, Lawrence? But you couldn't remember what it was.
Well, no, it's Republicans basically suing to like supercharge Citizens United so that they could spend even more money on campaigns.
great.
Which important and obviously, but compared to these two, oh my God!
Wow, we will take every win.
I
Yes.
think my shoulders just like dropped a couple of inches. I didn't realize how stressed I was waiting for this news to come out this morning. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I love when we get to do breaking news.
Yeah,
Good breaking news. Good
good
breaking
breaking news. And Nick,
Yeah.
people have said it in the chat, and I want to say it out loud to your face. Thank you for your service. Sincerely, we grew up in a time where, there was this weird thing in the American left with and against maybe Vietnam vets that I never understood. People who have served their country, who were, So I want to make sure that you and all veterans know that you are appreciated. We thank you for your service. It is part of our job to support you for the rest of your lives, for the service that you perform for this country. I want you to know that I take that seriously. I know that Dana takes it seriously. And once again, I will say, Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Coalition, veterans, labor union workers, people like all of us, man, like all of us together need to push back against these fucking fascist assholes.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask real quick, when you were saying that they have to give up their guns, Nick, do you just mean while they're in the VA, or do you mean once they check them forever?
Forever.
If they admit that they have mental health issues, they lose their guns forever?
Not if you admit that you have mental health issues. If you check yourself into an institution, if you are checked into a mental health institution for a staycation or a grippy sock vacation or whatever I use grippy sock vacation because it's just a gentle way of saying it. But if you check yourself in for a non-forced institutionalization of a recommended institutionalization, either by your provider, which you accept and you go in for, or you willingly just bring yourself in for one, is you lose your Second Amendment right. It's permanently. It's not a,
Really?
it's because it's your safety. It's for your own safety, because you are considered, you are then have a label of the need for additional care support. And they don't want you to hurt yourself. They don't want you to become a danger to society, either to yourself or others around you. I don't know if that's the right thing. I don't know if taking somebody's Second Amendment rights away permanently is the right thing. I don't know if it's the wrong thing either.
That's
and
tough,
so it's a
Nick.
really
Jeez.
that's a really tough one, and which is why I don't ever really go into that side of it, because it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter. Like, my mental health is more important than weapons. And like, I personally choose not to have weapons like handguns in my house because I don't want to risk having a flashback to pulling myself and my wife out of our bed and throwing her onto the ground saying incoming and accidentally pull a firearm.
Yep.
I don't want to risk hurting myself or my family. And so I make that choice myself. But that's because I've recognized that in myself and the need to ensure that I don't have that type of danger. For some veterans, they don't recognize that in themselves. And for better or worse, part of their personality are their guns. And maybe it's helpful that they have them taken away. But it's a very interesting conversation topic on that area, is that fear, but it's also just it's a compounding fear that veterans are told about the mental health system.
It
and,
does. Oh, sorry.
And all the lessons of the past where people who are forced institutionalized are abused, are over-medicated, are under-cared for. Those are lessons for a reason. Those are true stories. Those have happened to generations of people. And so it adds another layer of fear for us as veterans to go get our mental health care.
And it there's so many amazing comments coming in the chat. Amy earlier had said it's like it seems like it's saying they're punishing you for acknowledging that you need this help, because for these veterans it is a punishment. Ayana is saying that I can't imagine either of my veteran brothers giving up their guns for any reason, and especially not for mental health reasons. Nieta also just weighed in. Whoa, the chat's going so quickly. I lost your comment here. But it was around like, no, that's not it. I'm sorry, I lost it here. But it was around the idea of like, it's again discriminating against the disabled. And in my mind, there's an implication there that you never get better. You right. Lose your right forever. Like, what if you're like a 30-year-old person acknowledging that you need some help, but you lose access to these weapons that you've been trained on? I hate guns. I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm like, but these are folks who know how to use them.
Yes.
And they lose access to their own judgment of whether or not they can have them.
And it's indiscriminate across gun types or across disability types too. So there is discrimination in it. Like, for certain folks, I understand the full need to not have weapons in your house. Like, somebody who is severely impacted, who is a danger to themselves, who has suicidal ideations or harm-based ideations, that is a legitimate reason for their safety. But for those of us who are like depressive or who have anxiety, who are not suicidal, who are non-harm based iterations of mental health, it is discriminating against our rights. And it is something that will need to be talked about. And I know somebody who has actually worked on getting a case in front of judges to ensure that veterans don't lose their rights when they check themselves into institutions. And I completely agree with the fact that we shouldn't lose our rights. That said, there are limitations to rights. We know this. Our First Amendment has a limitation. It's called hate speech. Hate speech is not a protected form of speech. But I digress on that.
Can I wanted to, because I know you, Nick. I know
Yeah.
that you have, there must be a plan here, right? Like how to fight back, how to push back, things that we can be doing to support. So let's move into that piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that great transition, because we're always action focused on what we're doing. And so Karen has been putting in the chat a link for a new webpage that I have been working on. I am working in support and in partnership with the Disability Community for Democracy, with Naida Green's organization, to say no to Crip Crow. And that's, so you asked earlier in the show, where did Crip Crow come from? Naida came up with that. Naida and team put that forward. And I think it's really powerful, because you hear it and you go, oh, that hurts. Like, it hurts to hear, and it makes an impression. Like, it sticks with you. And for me, that's really important, is because we need people talking about it. We need people speaking about this in person, on screen, to their representatives. So Karen has been so graciously putting in a link for us, which goes to app.broadbanner.com/crip-crow. And this is a site that I put together, which has a brief history of what's going on for saying no to Crip Crow, what has happened, what the DOJ memo is, and why it matters, what you can do. And that's the important step, which is we have put together 2 right now, and we're going to continue working on additional scripts so that there's more that you can call with, and more scripts available for you to use, so that you're not saying the same thing over and over and over again every time. There is a ready-to-use phone script with tips for calling, and an email fax template that is available for usage, and a link to be able to freely fax. There's a site called Fax Zero that allows you to fax your representative or senators for free if they accept faxes. And so what we're doing is we have 2 aims in all of this. One is visibility, is to increase the visibility so that people know exactly what's going on and exactly how bad it's going to get, and what this means, not just for the disability community, but for all of us, because disability rights are for everybody. Accessibility is for everybody. Equity is for everybody. Not being discriminated against is for everybody. And when we can, and so our goal isn't just to make noise and just be visible. That's part 1, being visible, being seen, being loud, being heard, because first they came and no one spoke out. Well, now is your chance to speak out and actually do something about it. And so we're asking people to make daily calls, make daily emails to their senator and representative until this gets into their lexicon and they're talking about it openly. Because the history of the American with Disabilities Act was George H.W. Bush signed this into law. Was the Republicans got this across the finish line, or initially. Republicans got the ADA signed into law, and George H.W. Bush said it was the most important thing he ever did. Like, the most important thing he did was sign the ADA into law. And he was proud of it. And it hasn't really changed much. It's been updated a couple times. I think Naida said the last time it was updated was 2009 or something like that. So it's been years since the ADA has been updated. Olmstead is just a Supreme Court decision. However, it is the exact groundwork and framework that can go into the ADA and be codified into law. And so our goal is to get this codified into law with this Congress, not with the next, but with this one. And I don't care who's in Congress. If you're willing to sign on to do it, That's what matters right now. This is a single issue. This is not about any other issues, about anything else. I am happy to work and talk with folks on any side of the aisle right now to codify these rights into law because it impacts all of us. And it's not about other things. Yes, you need to have like a baseline of like humans matter. That's really a good baseline to build everything off. And I don't care which organization you work for right now, you need to be speaking about it. Like the Bulwark has come out and made a statement and has talked about this before the Midas Touch did, before Lincoln Square did.
I know that we're going to do it for Blue Ant Media. And Nieta, we see your comment. Absolutely. You are welcome to come on the show anytime. We will do a special, we'll
come back away for
summer vacation. We'll come back on anytime.
Yeah, just DM me about that. And as we've been going on, I keep meaning to pop in and be like, Nita, do you want to join us? We can send you the link.
Yeah, for sure.
And just pop into this stream if you want to. I know that's like very last minute and we're on camera, so no pressure. If you're like, I'm listening from bed, please do not put me on camera. You will have other chances. But if you would like to join us, just respond here in the chat. Give me 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
You've got Nita's contact information, right, Nick? You can like or I guess we could just do it through Substack.
Through Substack.
Okay, I'll do that right now. You two carry on the discussion. I'm going to go grab the link.
So, Nick, help me out. Is there legislation to support at the moment?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
Our goal is to get it so that we have a simple piece of legislation that can be presented to staffers, because all this is an update to an existing law.
Yeah.
It would take, according to John Tester, it would take former Senator John Tester, it would take staffers like 5 minutes, not even, like 15 seconds to just put this into a piece of legislation and have it ready. Like the ability for them to do it is there. It shouldn't require us putting the legislation together. To be totally honest, it shouldn't. It's their job to write legislation and codify it into law, and their staffers' job to do that. Like all I'm asking is them to do their damn job, which is write Olmstead into law. It is a Supreme Court decision which has clear statutes, clear interpretation. All I'm asking is that you codify the damn thing into law.
Yeah.
And that's it. That said, if it's required of us to write the small piece of legislation to update the ADA, we will figure out what is needed to be done to do that. But right now, the first step is we need our representatives and our senators openly talking about it. Because until they're actually saying it, until they're actually willing to discuss it, it's never going to change.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
100%, Nick. Period. Mic drop.
And our job as citizens is to ensure that our representatives and senators know that it's their job to write it into law.
Yes.
And that's all we're doing, because the highest rank of individual in the United States is voter, not representative, not president, not SCOTUS, not any of that. It's voter. You control their destiny as an elected official, as a public servant. And we have the power to make them afraid for their jobs again, not physically, not through violence, but through continued pressure and action, that they're going to lose their jobs, that they are because you can't ignore 500,000 to 1 million people calling daily. That's our goal. My goal is to get the Midas Touch size audience. And I'm using Midas Touch because they have over 5 million subscribers.
Yeah.
If only 10% of their audience base made a sustained calling effort every day, that would be 500,000 people a day calling about this one issue. You could not ignore that. And
We
that's
can
why
get
we're,
it started here, you guys. We are small, but we are mighty.
and so
So
yeah, so
maybe we can get more
use
than
that
10%.
use that link that we've been putting in there that Karen has been throwing in there. I'll throw it in again too. Go to the script. It is 30 seconds. We could do it on air. I've done it on air, and I'm going
Do
to,
it.
and I'll call my representative right now if we need to. Like
Please
if
do.
you guys want to take a couple moments and we do this, I'm happy to just walk through this with folks and show you
Well,
how easy it
Yeah,
is.
while we're waiting for Dieta to join us, do it. And while you're dialing, it looks like the third Supreme Court ruling did not go well. And more money is going, like the Citizens United one you were speaking of.
Yep.
So we're 1 for 3.
Yeah. Loosens a flood of campaign finance laws.
Yeah,
Awesome. Opening up
great.
a flood of midterm
More
cash.
money. And so for ease, also at the bottom of the page on our website, there's some clickable boxes. One of them includes Find Your Representative, which brings you to the Find Your Representative. It goes to congress.gov, which leads to the representatives or senators page. So you can find their exact office number and just call directly. So I'm going to call my representative, who is from Arkansas's 3rd District, Steve Womack. He probably doesn't get a ton of calls from a bunch of us. But if anybody else is in Steve Womack's district and on this call with us, please also call, because the more calls we can make to Steve, the better, because he doesn't do anything. He is a waste of space and needs to start doing his job or leave.
Yeah, just like mine in the Indiana 3rd, Marlon Stutzman doesn't even answer his fucking phone.
I've got
Do you know-
Pramila
Have an
Jayapal, you
answering
guys.
machine.
Yeah,
You are so lucky.
I know. I have Pramila Jayapal representing us. So
Yeah, Pramila's amazing.
happy to vote for her every time.
Okay, I am calling Washington, D.C. right now.
I wish I could call
calling.
too, but I'm on my phone on this live, so I cannot. But I'm excited to listen.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nicholas Paro, and I'm going to mute myself for a second here, guys.
Oh, I wanted to hear this part.
And I'm calling to strongly encourage Representative Womack to advocate for the disability community by exercising his authority and fulfilling his responsibilities to uphold the rule of law, defend the Constitution, and oppose the overreach of the Department of Justice. I'm concerned that Department of Justice's memorandum around Olmstead may enable states and U.S. territories to cease funding community-based services, potentially leading to resegregation and the involuntary institutionalization of individuals within the disability community. As a constituent, I respectfully urge Representative Womack to formally reject the DOJ memo concerning the Olmstead decision and to enshrine the Olmstead decision into statutory law through legislative amendment to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Thank you. Yes, please. And I would be glad to speak with him if he would ever like to call back as well. Yes. My name's Nick Paro. Yes, I am looking to speak with Representative Womack to get his support in codifying the 1999 Olmstead decision into law within the Americans with Disabilities Act to protect disability rights and freedoms and to prevent forced reinstitutionalization. Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye. And there we go.
That was amazing. I loved it.
And they're
This
going
is-
to get, and hopefully he gives me a call back, because that's what I asked for in the end too, was
Yeah.
for him to call back. And she took down a little extra information, and that's all you have to do, guys.
This is what democracy looks like. That's what I was chanting in my head the whole time you were going.
Dana Nieta is saying that the link is missing from your DM.
It's there though. I wonder if it's just like I see it.
Substack has started stripping links. Okay, I'm going to do a thing. Nieta, I'm putting the link in the chat. Please, nobody else click this.
Oh,
This is
hold on.
Oh,
How
don't
about-
do that,
Wait,
Lawrence.
Lawrence,
Okay.
wait. I'll send the link to Naida
Yeah.
in a text, because I got her.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll make it
Thank
super
you.
easy for all of us here. I got you. I got you,
Thank
friends.
you. Yeah, that's our permanent link. That'd be pretty funny. People would be copying it all the time.
I'll help you guys out there. But yeah,
Woman
it's
on
that
the
easy.
internet gets more nervous.
And it's that easy. And yes, we do need people who can write legislation, and that we just hand to them. That would be a better question for Naida and the disability community for democracy, on how to support that. That is not my lane, specifically. I am here to help whip up support, and be in person and get the media involved, which, Lawrence, thank you. Again, you guys, for Blue Amp Media and the support that you guys are providing there. I know I've spoken with you and Cliff, and thank you for making that announcement. I have not said anything about Blue Amp Media prior to this, because I knew I'd spoken with you guys and I was waiting for you to make that announcement. I didn't think it was right if I did it for you. That would have been
We're
wrong.
figuring out how and when we're going to
Mhm.
put something up.
Yeah, and I think
Yes.
it's really important that we have these amazing groups and media talking about this relentlessly, because I just did it, and maybe some of you guys in the audience did it too with me. Maybe even 10% of you, which is 200 out of the 200, 20 of you also called. That's still 20 more phone calls than they would have gotten otherwise.
Yep.
We do also, on the Broadbanders Crip page, there's a sign up form for staying informed and staying involved, where you can submit your name, your email, your state and zip code. We're using this information only so that we can identify which congressional districts and which representatives are being contacted the most, and where demographically you're from a congressional level. That's it. I don't sell data. I'm not giving your data away for free to people or
Nice.
making money off of your data. I'm using it to aggregate. We may share the aggregated information about where congressional districts are, like propensity levels, to other organizations that are working alongside of us, but I will never sell that data. I'm not going to sell your personal data, so do not worry.
Oh,
I will
she's
make
here.
that very public.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
I'm gonna thank you for doing this. I'm gonna say this. I am in an F&D flare due to the heat wave in the eastern half of the country, and I live in
Sorry.
New England. And Nick grew up in Vermont, so
Yep.
I am not built for this. And when you have multiple neurological disabilities like myself, I need the rest. And I'm doing a live stream with Nick later, so I have a
Yep.
hat on. I have this hat that says Society for the Rule of Law. And so I'm sorry, I look a little bit of a mess.
You're all good.
Yeah,
And we're
we're
so
happy
happy
to
to
hear.
see you. We should have brought you on earlier, but
It's totally fine.
let's
I
just
actually-
say this is a little taste, and we will have you on in July for
Yeah.
a proper visit.
Can I just say something?
yes.
Do you mind to
Please.
the audience? Because I'm gonna
Please.
say something and then literally go back to bed.
Yes.
I want to thank Lawrence and Dana and Nick for your support. I have been fighting for disability rights my whole life. Was a special education student, mainstream. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Gen X is a huge generation, but I'm on the younger side of Gen X. I have more in common with elder millennials than I do with Nick and I have more in common. Nick would have been a cousin of mine than my older counterparts, because my older counterpart Gen Xers, who are like born before 1973 or before are my aunts and uncles. So I have, yeah, so they
That's
have,
us.
so I say this because for me, the ADA and Olmstead changed my life in ways that, because I was under 25 when Olmstead became precedent, Supreme Court precedent. And, if we're using the maturity, your brain doesn't mature until you're 25. I did not, turn 25 until the early 2000s. So if we're using that standard. So I was first on a lot of things like ADA, getting accommodations without having to be in resource room and segregated an hour a day or hour every other day to get accommodations for most of my high school career. These things are important. What they're trying to do is take us back to that, and codifying Olmstead into law is the first step. One of the things, and I spoke to my mentor yesterday, that's really important is that, yes, we can codify Olmstead into law, but if we do not have universal health care to cover this, that's really the issue. And whatever universal health care looks like for you, some people it's Medicare or Medicaid for all. For me, I'm Nick and I politically, we are different sides in certain aspects. For me, it's about eliminating the HMO rule from the 70s and not allowing for insurance companies to be for profit. All of them have to be nonprofit. So that's where I stand on it, and that it's not AI making the decision, that it's a human being doing that. And we level set that every piece of community care, regardless of its physical, mental, or emotional health, starts in the least restrictive environment, which is the community, and it's the cheapest. That's the thing that's killing me about this, is that the institutionalization is actually going to cost more money. And
oh God, yeah.
And this is the thing, and I say this as somebody who leans center right on certain things. I'm more of the bulwark, never Trump conservative kind of crowd. What happened to, and I ask this question all the time, people with disabilities would not have the rights we have without Nixon. As much as people hate Nixon is the one who signed the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which has the 504. 504 is, Texas is leading that lawsuit. There's 6 states, pretty much all of them southern states. That's number one. Number two, as much as everybody hates Reagan, we wouldn't have the expansion of who can get access to the ballot if he didn't sign the expansion to the Voting Rights Act in 1982. That was signed due to Supreme Court case, which got overturned due to Calais. So that's another thing. And then the ADA, 1990, and then the amendments in 2008, both Bushes signed that. And so I say this all the time, and Nick knows where I stand. I don't care if about where you are politically. Humanity is not up for debate. I am not going to fight with you about my humanity. And so this is why a lot of people in the disability community tend to lean more conservative, not because they want to vote against their own interests. It's kind of like Black folks are Democrats because they remember who gave me my civil rights, right? And so we need to educate people that the Republicans aren't the Republican Party that is your mama, your daddy's, your grandfather's, and the Republican Party that you grew up with if you're over the age of 40, right? That's number one. And number two, and I appreciate Dana and Lawrence and Grounded Media. I forget the name of the podcast. You two are the only ones that have touched this with a 10-foot pole. I have emailed Joy Reid directly, and she has not gotten back to me. I am going on next a week from yesterday. I am going on Defiance, which is anything that's a joint project. It seems to me between never Trumpers or former Trumpers and and um, and left people on the left, even if they're on the far left, or just never Trumpers, period, or just, or former Trumpers. They care more about the rights of people than the quote unquote, democratic socialist. So where are they?
Right.
Where are the democratic socialists who are for affordability and all of that? They're not speaking about my humanity. They're ableist and racist as hell. And I get some of you might agree with some of their politics, but I have to call out the fact that the far left is just as ableist as
The far right.
the
Yeah.
far right.
Yeah.
And Nick, I haven't told you, but I'm really frustrated with some of our mutuals who have platforms that are large or larger than ours,
Hmm.
or the same size, and none of them have written an article. None of them have had a live stream on this. And I'm sorry, like, they got to get it together, or they're going to be called out. And as my mother, as I grew up, I'm half Latina, half Black. Beatings last a short time, and embarrassment lasts forever. And this is not like I'm not making a threat, but I am not going to sit here and be told conservatives conserve white supremacy if you are not speaking out either, because you on the left are also conserving white supremacy if you're not doing what Dana and Lawrence and as Senator Tester, and I forget the
Maritza.
Maritza.
and all of the people you met in DC, Nick, this weekend, who are willing to put you on. I don't like being on live streams unless I control them or I'm with Nick, honestly, because it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm more of a behind the scenes person. I'm more of a connected in Capitol Hill. That's my skill set. But I do media and I'm good at it, but it's not my favorite thing. So, but we need people like you to start also calling out the left, saying you are supporting white supremacy when you're silent on this. White supremacy goes beyond race. It's about superiority, and eugenics is a racist based pseudoscience. And your whiteness is not going to save you if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, which I am a member of,
Me too.
and if you have a disability. That's my soapbox. So I'm sorry if it sounds lectury, but that's kind of sort of where my thoughts are on this, because I was not prepared to go on.
Hey,
No.
sometimes we need a lecture, right? Like what you just said is so clarifying and edifying, and I think we all needed to hear that. So I really appreciate you coming on and having the courage of your convictions to say what you said, because I think you're right. We all needed to hear it, and the message needs to get out to a bigger audience for sure. So
And I really appreciate it. I'm going to hop off. I don't mean to be rude. I really am not feeling well today.
You are not
No,
being rude at all. We are over time anyways. So this
Yeah.
was wonderful. And it was like, it was just a little amuse-bouche. Is that what it's called? Like
Right.
a little taste. We will have you on in July. Message me and we'll figure out dates that work. And
Can Nick give you my contact information?
Yeah, I'll
Sure.
connect you guys on
going to
cell.
sleep. I'm going
Yeah.
to sleep.
Go to
Nick
sleep.
knows how sick I am. I'm really sick.
Yeah, go get
Sleep
rest,
well.
my friend. I'll see you later today too.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
care. Oh, I'm really glad we had her on. That was
Naida's a force. She is a
Yeah.
force. And I've learned a lot. I have adjusted, and I have learned, like you said earlier, it's like, I don't know how many times I have to say, I wish I had known this. Why wasn't I taught this? Where did this come from? And how did I not know this?
Right.
The amount of times I say that every freaking day
All
now
the time.
is
All
so
the time.
ridiculous.
And yeah, right? And I want to be educated, right? Like I want to learn the things that I need to know to be a better citizen. And it still amazes me that there are days, where I learn words about a way that enslaved people were kept under control by classifying the desire for freedom as a mental disability. Fuck that fucking shit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank
And
you, Nick. Thank you for bringing us out of our summer
thank you.
holiday.
Yes.
It's not for many people that I will set the 5:30 alarm when I'm on the summer break. But Nick, this was a really important hour and 13 minutes that we're
Yeah.
having here. I'm really grateful for your wisdom, for your advocacy. Thank you for sharing it with us so that we can help in whatever small way we can. Thanks to all of you who've been
It's not a
here.
small way. It's big. It's big what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
My chat has crashed. It still has Nieta on. I'm hitting refresh
Yeah,
so that I can see.
I've got a meeting in just a couple minutes, so I need to go. We should
I need to
probably
go
wrap up.
too.
Kept you guys late. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I got day job that I gotta go race to right now. Love you all. Mean it. Please come back. Well, I
Love you,
will
mean
be
it. Bye.
I will be going live at 5 o'clock tomorrow on Wednesday for I Write Out Loud, and Lawrence and I will be back Thursday morning to talk about being Jewish in the
Yeah.
United States in 2026, since our essays we've been writing about it. So,
And
I'd
I'm
love to
live
have you
today.
guys on to talk about those things too.
oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
please
We would love to.
call me.
Yeah, I'm live today at 3:30 with Amy Hoggart, British comedian who is absolutely fucking brilliant and so much fun. I'm excited, so come check that out at 3:30 Eastern, and that's it. Thanks everybody. Nick, what's your next thing? Where are you going to be live next?
I'm live at 6 p.m. Eastern with Naida Green for our new series that we're unofficially starting, Listening Louder, where we're going to be interviewing Virginia 1 candidate Erica Kopp to
She's
discuss.
Oh, we had her on.
I've already
She's
met her
the
too.
show.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be discussing Olmstead and what we can
Beautiful.
be doing to help push candidates to put this into their platforms and force this discussion for everyone. So thank you.
Oh,
Awesome.
Grounded, Nieta just gave you a shout out. Yeah, I see Grounded Podcast just joined. I assume that's Marisa. Hello, we're leaving.
Right.
Oh, we will do
Wrapping
this
up, but
again.
hello.
Hello
All
and
right.
goodbye. Love you all, mean it.
everybody. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys.